So this is a Joying single DIN Android head unit, which has got a detachable screen, in this case an 8-inch screen, but you can get other sizes, that enables you to mount the main unit separately from the screen itself. The trouble with this particular car, the XKR, is that there was never a double DIN unit in there, so there was never any room for a large screen with a double DIN unit. And I've looked for various options, and this appeared to be the best option available. So the actual main unit itself is mounted behind here, where the original stereo would have been in the car. Let's just move the gear lever out of the way. Let's turn the ignition on. Right, so if I just hook this out, it's not fixed at the moment because I'm not sure what I'm doing with down here at the moment, so it's just temporarily mounted there. So there's the actual main unit itself. As you can see there, that's an SD card slot, which I've got all the music mounted on. In this case it's a 256 gig, no sorry, it's 128 gig micro SD card that's got my entire music collection as MP3s on it. And then I've just put a blanking plate down here, which I haven't, as I say, I haven't fixed it properly yet, but and I've just mounted a couple of USB ports to connect to the stereo on there temporarily for the moment. As I say, I haven't decided what I'm doing with it long term yet. And then the actual screen itself is mounted up here. So I actually made the bezel for it around here. So I made a framework, 3D printed it to hold the screen and also to fit to the dash. So I shaped it so that it would actually match the contour of the veneered fascia. So it actually looks quite nice when it's fitted. So this is the main interface for the unit itself. Like any Android device, you can select what apps you want to run on it, what home screen you want, what launcher you want. So I've got this set up with a car-specific launcher, which is downloadable from the Play Store. It's a chargeable one, but it only costs a few quid. And it gives you this nice layout. You can select your car manufacturer, etc. To try and make it look like as near as damn it to a factory fitted unit. So on the unit itself we've got AM FM radio, navigation, which you select what navigation software you want. In my case I'm using Cygic, but you could set it up to use Google Maps, TomTom, any navigation application, but in my case I'm using Cygic GPS navigation, which once again is a chargeable one, but it works very well. It integrates nicely with this unit, and it was on special offer at the moment, so I think it cost me just under 15 quid for all of Europe and lifetime map updates, which I didn't think was too bad at all. Then in music app, once again you select what music app you want to use. In my case I'm using one called Gone Mad music player, but you could use Power Amp or anything. I haven't finalised it yet, I may change it. I'm still testing different ones, but what I've got on there at the moment works really well. Then over the other side you've got Bluetooth phone connection, which I've got linked to my phone. I've tested that, works very well. The microphone for it is built into the screen, it's just down there. There is also a facility for an external mic, but so far it seems to work okay with the built-in one, so I don't see any need for that. I've got a DAB radio, which works with a USB adapter which plugs into the main unit itself to provide DAB radio stations, and then just all other apps, all other Android apps that are on the unit. Up the top you've got GPS and Wi-Fi signal strength, so Wi-Fi signal strength and how many satellites it's found from the GPS antenna. And over the other side, from the GPS itself, you've got weather data and current temperature, just based on the results from the GPS, I believe. Then down the bottom you've got a Google voice search. I haven't used that, so I don't know quite how that works, because this hasn't got an internet. I don't have this. It doesn't have a SIM or anything in it, so it doesn't have internet connectivity once it's out of Wi-Fi range. So I'm not quite sure how all that would work. And then over here, brightness settings. So at the moment it's set on daylight. You can set it to automatic mode, where it will dim later on in the day as it gets darker, and brighter when it gets lighter. Or you can select it yourself. So that's nighttime mode and that's daytime mode. And then that button there's the settings. In the centre you can select what you want displayed in the centre. So at the moment I've got the car logo. If you press the centre you can then select a clock, speedometer, which gets its data from the GPS, music, which will show you the album art from whatever you're playing from the music player, and also countdown, etc. Compass and navigation data, which will, so you don't have to have the navigation map on the screen all the time. This will actually show you upcoming turns, etc., or events on the navigation. So for instance, it'll have a left-hand arrow and symbol with 3 miles underneath, saying in 3 miles time turn left, and that will gradually count down. So it gives you upcoming commands without having to have the maps displayed on the screen all the time, and that seemed to work really well. I suspect that will be specific to certain navigation packages. That was one of the reasons why I chose Sigic, because it integrates very well with this front end. So if we just have a look at the music side of it for a minute. So if we press music here, go to artist, we can then select what artists we want, so whatever you want. So let's go back to let's put Bruce Springsteen on. Then I'll show you the albums. Select the album and play. Then if we press the home button, it tells you down there what track's currently running. Let me just turn the volume down, because otherwise YouTube will get upset if I play copyrighted material. So that down there will show you what's playing. If we press the center and go to the music screen, then it will show the album art, the track counter, etc. Down here it'll tell you what track's playing, who it's by, and then these buttons will go through the tracks. So we can go forwards and backwards through the tracks. And then if you press that in the middle, it pauses it. So that will pause the tracks. Okay. Also, I forgot to mention the steering wheel controls are connected to the unit as well. So this is pressing the steering wheel controls. So we've got volume up, volume down, and if we're in any of the other screens, pressing the middle button on the steering wheel controls will take you directly back to the home screen again. So then we've got radio. Go into radio, standard FM radio. Probably won't get used that much. It's not a brilliant FM radio app, I'll be honest with you. When you set these presets, it doesn't even give the radio name in there. It tells you the radio name very small on the display there, so that says BBC Radio 2, but it's very small. You know, you'd think it would put it in big writing in the middle there, but it doesn't, and it doesn't fill up the presets and say Radio 2 on the preset. So it's not a great radio app, I'll be honest with you. I'll see if I can find a better one, but it probably won't get that much use anyway. Over here we've got the DAB radio, which so various DAB radio stations. Press whichever one you want. Now I haven't got the aerial up at the moment, so and the signal's not great round here anyway, so but it does work. I have tested it out on the road and it does work pretty well. When you select any of these apps as well, it will stop the playback from any other app that's running. So whatever app you're currently running, so DAB radio, FM radio, music, etc., it will stop the audio coming from the others, so you don't get a muddle of sound from different apps on top of one another. Phone will just bring up a standard Bluetooth phone system. Downloads all the contacts from your phone. If I press that, it'll bring up all my contacts off my phone. I won't press that because then you'll see all my contacts and the phone numbers, etc. But I've tested that and it seems to work very well. And then navigation. So if I go to navigation, now this, it will actually, if you're playing music and you've got the navigation up, the music will play normally and it will just mute the music when there's a voice command from the navigation system, and then as soon as that's finished it will go back to the music again. So it's not on top of it, you know, you're not trying to sort of hear the navigation sound above the music. It mutes the music temporarily while there's a navigation command telling you to turn left or turn right, etc, etc, and then it'll immediately unmute the music and it will be back on again. This will just show you all the apps that are available on the unit, just your normal Android apps, etc, which you can select accordingly. You can select, if you press these up here, oh no, sorry, don't want to do that. In the settings you can change the icons you've got up there. At the moment it's Wi-Fi and GPS icons. If you go into settings and show icons, you can change that. You can only show two, but you can select which two you want. So you could have, for instance, the Bluetooth. Let's turn off Wi-Fi. You could have Bluetooth and USB connectivity, for instance. And then the icons have changed up there to show you if a Bluetooth is connected and if there's USB connected, etc. You can select there what car you've got for the actual emblem in the middle. But obviously this is in a Jag, so I've got a Jag selected. You can edit the colours, you can change the colour schemes, etc. Change your weather, location. You can actually turn on the volume on the home screen itself. So now you get a plus and a minus there for turning the volume up or down. And also if you press and hold it, I think, yeah, that's right, you can actually turn it round like that to turn the volume up and down. But because I've got volume control on the steering wheel, I've also got the volume control, the hardware volume controls on the side of the unit itself here as well to control the volume. I decided I didn't really want it cluttering up the main launcher, so I turned off the volume controls completely. You can set the brightness levels for the day and the night, and also when the auto brightness kicks in, so when sunrise and sunset is, to automatically change the brightness settings based on time. What else we've got? You can select the distance and temperature in miles or kilometers, and degrees C and degrees Fahrenheit. That will hide the status bar at the top of the Android screen, which is quite nice, because if you turn that off, then you've got this bar at the top, which sort of spoils the look a little bit. So hold on, status bar. So I haven't even looked at these options, so I tend to like to hide them. But we've also got this navigation bar settings. Hide navigation bar, do not hide. No, okay. Don't know, I haven't looked at those. There we go, that's pretty much it. There we go, that's the Joying single DIN Android head unit mounted in a Jaguar XKR 2003 model. Thanks for watching.